KREM 2 News begins now.
Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 Plus. I'm Tim Pham. This is your KREM 2 News Week in Review. Join us as we take a closer look at some of the biggest stories in the Inland Northwest this past week.
Today we received this 7-page joint agreement from the city attorney. In it, it explains how the city and state are supporting the closure of this camp by June 30th. The homeless encampment off of I-90 in Freya is dwindling by the day. That's because of a collaboration between city, state, and on-site services. KREM 2 spoke to Jules Helping Hands Executive Director Julie Garcia on the anticipated closure.
The emptiness of the camp signifies, one, a reduction in the footprint of this neighborhood, but also the real help that is given and being offered to people experiencing homelessness.
For the last 2 months, the city and state have been working together on a plan to safely shut down the camp. The city attorney says the joint motion was filed in court Tuesday. In that motion, proposed steps to transition people off the state-owned land. This includes notifying people of the camp's June 30th closure at least 1 week in advance and providing storage bins for moving personal property. It also says if someone refuses to leave on June 30th at 4 p.m., they could be arrested for trespassing. The joint agreement says WSDOT will monitor the site after the camp closes. The state is also responsible for removing any remaining structures, fencing, and garbage from the site. The city attorney says 5 days after the camp's closure, the city will dismiss its case against the state. Julie Garcia says less than 10 people are still living on the camp right now. 12 people have been moved off the camp since Thursday. At that rate, the city settlement may be reached even earlier than June 30th. In Spokane, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Well, that 10-year-old boy still has a long recovery ahead, but he's doing better tonight and has an important message for our viewers, especially those who like to ride.
I just kept telling him, hey, bud, it's going to be all right. You're tough. You are a soldier.
But Shane Lyon says the truth is he didn't know if everything would be okay when his 10-year-old son Bentley was loaded into a helicopter last Friday, airlifted to Sacred Heart Children's Hospital after a truck towing a trailer hit their motorcycle.
It was just a nice day, and I was like, Bentley, let's go see if we can get her started.
The ride was only supposed to last a few minutes. They rode less than half a mile on State Route 231, then turned around to go home.
Went about 8 miles an hour in the 100 feet we had left to go to my driveway, turned into it, and bam! All I saw was a white flash, and all of a sudden it felt like I was going upside down.
Shane says a truck towing a trailer was either trying to pass them or wasn't paying attention and tried to swerve into the left lane. As Shane turned, their motorcycle swiped the truck and trailer, which sliced through Bentley.
My mind was like counting the layers of skin and all the muscle and everything, and I'm like, oh wow, this is not good. Life's just all right here. Nothing else I saw going around me at all.
I have 10 staples in the back of my head. I have a fractured skull. I have a fractured pelvis, a fractured hip.
Tonight, Bentley is sharing his story from the hospital as he recovers.
And if we weren't wearing a helmet, then we probably wouldn't be here right now.
The 10-year-old has already had 2 surgeries.
My wounds are nothing compared to his, and the ones on the inside of my leg are pretty bad.
Shane has bruises all over his body, but he's thankful that even on this short ride, they both had their helmets on. He says it's an important reminder for all riders.
Just make sure that you or your child wears a helmet. It really does matter, because brain injury, death, it's all a real thing.
Even for just a 1 minute?
Doesn't even matter. I don't care if you are riding in your driveway. Anything can happen.
You should always wear a helmet, pay attention to the road, and stay safe.
And the crash is being investigated. The family told us they have not heard if the driver will face any criminal charges.
For the last 8 months, Charles Bergman claimed he is not guilty of killing his wife, Teresa, whose body was found in a tall grass field here in Lincoln County.
Now he is pleading guilty to the crime, and in court, he told his children he is sorry.
In September last year, a Lincoln County farmer found the body of Teresa Bergman in his field. Teresa went missing after her estranged husband, Charles Bergman, picked her up from the Spokane airport. She had just returned from a trip to visit her former boyfriend. Bergman was arrested for his involvement in her murder and maintained his innocence until now. Bergman pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in Lincoln County Court. He will now serve 15 years in prison, a sentence both the state and defense attorneys say is a life sentence due to his age and declining health. Bergman's children spoke in court today, both with a different opinion on his sentence.
My mom doesn't get to go on with her life, and at no point should my dad ever get to go on with his.
Given the nature of the 15 minimum, I would request that he gets the 13-year.
After the hearing, Seth Bergman, the defendant's son, told me his reaction to the judge's ruling on a 15-year sentence.
My father definitely deserved 15 years. Do I forgive him? No.
That's complicated, I think.
It's very
hard.
complicated.
Since Bergman pleaded guilty, that also means he waived his right to appeal. Reporting from the Lincoln County Courthouse, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Not many can say they were attacked by a cougar and live to tell a story, but that is Lily's story. She's in good spirits 1 year following the attack, but her road to recovery is far from over. 10-year-old Lily Kurzhanivsky has plenty of reasons to smile today, but likely her biggest reason, the fact that she's alive. This after a near-death experience with a cougar last summer.
I was just praying that God can save me.
1 year ago, a cougar attacked Lily while she was playing hide-and-seek with her cousin and sister at a Fruitland church camp. Lily says she remembers everything from the moment her and the cougar met eyes.
I tried to run, but it just jumped on me, and so I fell to the floor. I turned around and I started just fighting for my life.
Lily says shock took over as the wild animal bit and clawed her body.
The animal was biting my head really hard, and I just can't. I was kind of I think my brain is gone. How am I even alive? I just keep on looking at the animal, and it drags me and keeps on dragging me, and then it keeps on going back to my head, and then my fingers, and then my body.
Lily says the cougar eventually dropped her. Then an adult from the camp came to rescue her.
I just keep on feeling am I even gonna survive?
Lily was airlifted to Sacred Heart, where she was in a coma for 2 days and spent countless hours in surgery. Lily's mom says doctors told her her daughter needed 400 to 500 stitches. Even in her recovery, she still found a way to keep smiling.
And I was so happy that I was just alive.
1 year later, Lily says she's still getting laser treatments and going to eye appointments. She says she's also learning to heal emotionally.
Cougars are honestly a big part of my life now. I feel like they were a really interesting animal to learn about. And I feel really brave with wildlife now because even right now, I even want to go in the wild right now. I just want to walk through forests, and I even want to see bears. I want to see a whole bunch of big animals, and especially cougars.
Lily says she was able to take home the skin and skull of the cougar who attacked her, a reminder of the tough fight she fought and another reason to keep smiling. Lily says she's looking forward to being able to be outside this summer. She says she's planning on hanging out with friends and attending horseback riding camp. To hear more of Lily's story in her own words, visit our KREM 2 YouTube page for her raw interview. In the studio, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
A touching tribute at Fairmount Memorial Park, more than 3,900 American flags fluttering in the wind. Under clear blue skies, dozens of veterans and their families paid tribute to the brave men and women who gave everything for our country.
Here in the great Northwest, we have lost a total of 378 servicemen. Since last year's ceremony, unfortunately, we have lost 2 more military members from our local area. They have died in training accidents.
Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles delivered the keynote speech.
Most of the time, they were in places they'd never been and fought and defended the freedom for people they didn't know.
Knowles says his father was an Army captain and both of his grandfathers served in World War II.
He did not talk about, in his letters home, about what he was doing, what he was enduring. He was asking how my grandmother was.
As sheriff, Knowles says he can't equate police work with serving in the armed forces, but says it's service nonetheless.
When somebody puts their life in danger willingly to protect others, you develop a bond that many people sitting here today and many of the people we're here to honor keenly understand.
Today's ceremony included a flyover of a plane used in World War II.
For the men and women who did not come home, who gave all, I know that I have to honor them by being the best American I can be.
In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Our question comes from a viewer named Linda who reached out to say she received 2 calls from a number that claims to be the CDC. Linda shared the phone numbers and asked if we could verify if the call was legitimate. Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Disease, the National Opinion and Research Center at the University of Chicago, and the Federal Trade Commission. Linda shared the calls came from the phone number 404-806-4812. On its website, the CDC has a webpage specifically for people who got a phone call from the same number as Linda, as well as 3 others. The CDC explains the phone calls are part of a national immunization survey. It seeks information about childhood vaccinations and related health issues. A letter from the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases says phone numbers for the survey are chosen at random by a computer. The numbers are then contacted by people at the National Opinion and Research Center at the University of Chicago who carry out the survey. The letter states, you do not have to take part, or you can decide not to answer one or more questions. If you get the call and want more details, you can call the survey takers back at 877-220-4805. So we can verify, yes, the CDC is calling people as part of a national immunization survey. However, it is always a good idea to be wary of unsolicited calls. The Federal Trade Commission warns, if someone calls you out of the blue and asks you to hand over personal information or wire money or pay with a gift card, it's a scam. If you ever have questions about a call, the FTC advises you to simply hang up. You can also report the call at donotcall.gov. If you have any questions you'd like verified, let me know. Just email verify@krem.com.
The Pullman Moscow Regional Airport celebrated its topping off ceremony for its brand new terminal, and when completed, it will act as the main terminal for commercial flights. The work is halfway done.
It's a huge milestone for us.
For Chad Clough and Hoffman Construction.
Putting this beam in place celebrates a lot of things. Celebrates a lot of effort that's gone into the building so far, and also a celebration of the fact that we've done so safely and we haven't injured any workers along the way.
During a topping off ceremony, the last structural beam was put in place at the site of Pullman Moscow Regional Airport's future terminal. Construction began last August, and when completed,
between the basement and the main concourse level, we're growing that to just about 47,000 square feet. There's going to be 4 gates.
The $85 million project was in discussions since 2011.
And we knew we needed a terminal.
The current terminal at the airport is only 8,000 square feet and no longer has a capacity for commercial air travel. Pullman Moscow Regional Airport Director Anthony Bean says a new terminal is a long time coming.
And it provides a platform for business to be able to thrive and serve and create better quality of life for everybody that encounters it.
The Pullman Moscow Regional Airport currently only does 3 commercial flights a day, 2 flights to Seattle and 1 to Boise. Pullman Mayor Glenn Johnson already knows the immediate impact it will make.
This allows people to congregate. We'll have restaurants in there. We'll have a bar. Again, people will be in comfort. We know that we'll have additional flights. And so basically it links us to the outside world.
With the opening of the new terminal, the Pullman Moscow Regional Airport will add more flights and airlines in years to come. I'm told that the goal is to open up the terminal and at least one gate by this December, and the rest of the gates by early next year. In Pullman, Nathan Chan, KREM 2 News.
Ready? Are you ready? Go find it.
Hi, my name is Cody Moore. I'm a firefighter at Coeur d'Alene Fire Department. We have a canine search team here called Idaho Disaster Dogs, or Coeur d'Alene Fire Department Canine Search Team. Murphy is a yellow Labrador. He's 9.5 now. He's getting ready to retire. He's done a really good job. He's real driven. He loves to play. For him, hide and seek is the best game in the world.
Yeah! Good job.
We wrote a book called Murphy Gets a Job, and this was intended to be a fundraiser for the team to help support all the training and purchasing of new dogs in the future.
Good boy. Out.
The idea came to us while we were reading books to my kids one night. And we enjoy reading to them, they enjoy hearing it, and we thought it'd be fun to have a story about the dogs and the dog team, and it'd be an equally good fundraiser that we could get out to the community. The story's about Murphy from when we got him as a puppy and adopted him onto the team, and then the entire progression that he took to get certified on the team. So it's about an 18-month to 2-year process encompassed in one children's book.
My name's Morgan Zajcek, and I work for Coeur d'Alene Fire as a firefighter, and I'm part of the dog team. Joined about 6 months ago as a support person, for now with hopes of becoming a handler one day.
Come here.
Murphy loves to train. Been able to see him search for me, search for people, watch him search over the piles that we get to go to, over in the different training areas, and just his excitement when he knows that he's on a job, when he's got a mission. Just a playful dog, loves his ball.
Good boy. We call it work, but it's just a lot of good times, and it's a slow progression of teaching them and trying to communicate with them. But when they get it, it's kind of like when your kids finally understand something. It's really neat to watch that light bulb click on and watch them take the next step. Dogs are expensive, vet bills are expensive, training aids are expensive, and so we're always trying to find a way to shoulder that burden, and this is a neat way that we thought we could reach out to the community and have a fundraiser at the same time.
Beck left a good first impression on fans, winning the Home Run Derby at FanFest. But through his first 8 games in Spokane, Beck was hitting just .037. His timing was off, and he was missing pitches he normally would hit out of the ballpark.
At the end of the day, it's baseball, it's tough. You're going to fail a ton, and you just kind of got to roll with the punches, and I rolled with the punches and just kind of kept it going.
After getting dropped to 7th in the Indians' order and making a mechanical adjustment in his approach, Beck regained his powerful form.
I just got into a better ready position, to be honest. Before, I was taking too long to get into that position, and I was getting beat with a lot of pitches. So when you foul pitches off in this league and in this time now, it's hard to hit. And if you foul less off, you're going to do better.
Since his adjustment, Mike Honcho, as he was affectionately nicknamed by college coach Tony Vitello, has become the Northwest League leader in home runs and has raised his average over 250 points.
Getting to a better position kind of helped me not miss the pitches that I was missing before, and then at the same time is just swinging at better pitches. Before, I might have chased a couple more, or I might have missed a couple pitches here and there, and it just puts you behind.
Yet despite his torrid first 3 weeks of May, Beck has struggled in his last few games, but he is keeping it all in perspective.
You're going to struggle in a different way each time, and that's why we come back to this sport. Believe it or not, it sounds crazy, but I mean, we all come back because it's hard and it never gives us the right answer, and we want to keep trying to figure it out.
It is a 4-part process. Step 1 will be the pile. Your second step is sifting out the fine material. You'll come down to the sluice, and that's your third step. Wash off the material really well.
That's the nicest one I've found.
That's a great one.
They make it super easy. They explain everything, and it's fun, and kids can do it.
I've got a decent sized little bag of garnets. Came to visit my sister, and I'm a rock hound, so of course I had to check out the garnets.
Oh, that's the pile I should have been digging out of this whole time. No way.
My name is Mike Frost. I'm the Recreation Program Manager for the St. Joe Ranger District.
Everybody that comes out here to the Garnet area, they always have a great time. They come out here with different expectations, every one of them, and every time they get their expectations met. The average size for larger ones today have been about the size of a golf ball, up to about an ounce or a little over an ounce.
Okay, 11.7.
It's 1 permit per year.
1 pound.
They are allowed to go and extract out of the pile up to 2 pounds of garnet. Yeah, it's definitely some physical labor here. This is one of 2 places in the world where you can find a huge abundance of the 6-ray star garnet, which is also the Idaho State gem.
This is my second time doing it, and I love it.
Since we've gone to the 1 permit a year reservation system, there has been a lot of cancellations here early on. So if you can't find one when you go on initially, just keep checking in and checking the days that you want to try and obtain a reservation to come up here.
It's awesome. My mom's sitting up there and it's her first time and she's sifting through and I'm sluicing and then she picks them out. So it's been fun.
Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 Plus for a look at some of the biggest news stories of the past week. For the most current news throughout the weekend, you can watch our latest newscast right here on KREM 2 Plus. Just look for them in the bottom navigation menu. I'm Tim Pham. Thanks for watching.